Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Mission Energy Foundation, I would like to extend a warm welcome to all of you to Gasification India and Waste to Energy 2020 virtual conferences. My name is Anisha Nair. I shall be your host today for the gasification sessions, and my colleague Akshay Mishra shall lead the Waste to Energy sessions. Firstly, I would like to thank the esteemed dignitaries present on the dais who have taken time out from their packed schedule to grace us with their presence virtually. I welcome the August gathering today, and we are grateful to our dignitaries for sharing their expertise on this important subject that Mission Energy Foundation is striving for over 12 years now. We are privileged to have on stage Shri member Niti Ayog, Shri Tarun Kapoor, Secretary, Petroleum and Natural Gas Ministry, Shri Vaidya, Chairman, Indian Oil Corporation, Shri Rakesh Kumar, CMD, Navy Lignite Corporation, Shri Naveen Jindal, Chairman, Jindal Steel and Power Limited, Dr. Samir J. Serhan, Chief Operating Officer, Air Products, Shri Binay Dayal, Director Technical, Coal India Limited, and Shri Ashwinkumar Khatri, Director General, Mission Energy Foundation. Thank you all for being with us today. Now, 2020 has been a historic year. The world will remember it for the crippling effects it has had on our health, lives, and economy. But as we step into a new year and a new decade, we will also look back on how this year adversity was used as an opportunity to rebuild and become self-reliant. In a watershed moment under the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, the government allowed commercial mining of coal earlier this year. This reform is expected to create massive employment and modernize the sector by building infrastructure and bringing in new technology. To all the critics who are worried about emissions of thermal power sector, India has now set a target of 100 million tons coal gasification by 2020 with the investments of over 4 lakh crores. Into its 12th edition this year, Gasification India Conference will seek to provide the platform to strategize on the roadmap to gasify 100 million tons of coal by 2030, how coal gasification will fit into India's commitment to clean energy and reduction of carbon emissions, and how to maximize the value of coal by gasification to produce syngas, fertilizers, electricity, liquid fuels, hydrogen, and other commercial chemical compounds. With air pollution in northern India hitting the headlines again, the Waste to Energy Conference in its 6th year will explore the challenges, opportunities, and solutions on how solid and liquid waste can be managed to produce electricity, fuel, and chemicals more efficiently without polluting the environment. Over the next 2 days, we have the Gasification and the Waste to Energy Conference running parallelly with each other on this virtual platform. Here you will also have the opportunity to visit an expo and network with your peers in a safe environment at the launch virtually. I will urge all of you to make the best use of the breaks and avail of this opportunity. Now, a few words about the organizers of the event. Mission Energy Foundation is a private, persistent, not-for-profit organization which has delivered successful platforms of knowledge dissemination on various subjects like gasification, waste to energy, fly ash utilization, biomass, solar and wind energy for over a decade. Mission Energy Foundation is dedicated to educate and spread technology awareness through ongoing contacts and discussion with the public and industry concerning the future of India's growing energy sector. We would like to thank our sponsors who have supported us this year to make Gasification and Waste to Energy Conference a big success. We would like to thank our title sponsor, Air Products, our principal sponsors, Jindal Steel and Power and Wuhan Energy Engineering, our powering sponsors, Reliance Industries, Coal India and Indian Oil Corporation, our supporting sponsors, Navy Lignite Corporation and KS Group. A big thank you to our associate sponsors, Avantgarde and Dev Energy and Johnson Chemical, our session sponsors. I would now request Mr. Khatri to please open the conference and welcome all speakers and the August gathering.
Thank you, Anisha. I take this opportunity to thank the honorable dignitaries on the dais, Shri Binay Dayal ji, Shri S.M. Vaidya ji, Shri Naveen Jindal ji, Dr. Samir ji Serhan. I also thank the other dignitaries who are going to shortly join on the dais. Shri Tarun Kumar from the Ministry of Natural and Petroleum Gas, and Shri V.K. Saraswat, who will shortly join us, along with Rakesh Kumar ji from Naval Lignite. This gathering again is going to be hosted by Mission Energy Foundation with the two parallel conferences we organizing this year virtually. Gasification, which has always been a timely event that has identified opportunities to invest and implement various gasification technologies in India. It brings together the gasification investors, operators, owners, synthetic gas users, including power, fertilizer, chemical companies, technology, and financiers to discuss the critical issues that are facing the growing energy sector today. As always said, Mission Energy Foundation has rigorously and dedicatedly given 12 years to the nation with 16 events on gasification and waste to energy, which creates forums of discussion, exchange of ideas, sharing practical experiences, bringing together government advocacies, networking opportunities to professionals and business worldwide. And with this expertise, we bring you this platform that will not stop us in networking and meeting our fellow participants during the launch via automatic video conferences, which you can avail the opportunities by going to launch during the networking breaks. I thank my team who has encouraged me to deliver two important initiatives in this difficult pandemic times. One, the Mission Energy Foundation had launched a mobile application app so that we can be in your hands, and that enables the participants and the industry professionals to come together and discuss with each other. Second, we also started a short interview format, which was Teen Sawal Seedhe Jawab on our YouTube channel, which was again led by our senior editor Anisha, who's hosting the session today with us. I wish to play two small videos to capture your interest of the audience. The first video is probably a small video of our leader and dignitary to be honored, Shri Narendra Modi ji, Honorable Prime Minister. I will request Anisha to, can you kindly play the video from there?
रोजगार मिलेगा, एक प्रकार से गरीबों की सेवा का काम कोयले से भी हो सकता है, इसका विश्वास पैदा होगा। यानी हर सेक्टर पर एक पॉजिटिव असर देखने को मिलेगा, और मैं जो फील कर रहा हूं, इसके कारण हमारे देश के गरीब इलाकों के और गरीब लोगों के सबसे ज्यादा आशीर्वाद हम सबको मिलने वाले हैं। साथियों, कोल रिफॉर्म्स करते समय इस बात का भी ध्यान रखा गया है कि एनवायरनमेंट की रक्षा का भारत का कमिटमेंट कहीं से भी कमजोर न पड़े। कोल से गैस बनाने के लिए अब बेहतर और आधुनिक टेक्नोलॉजी का हम प्रयोग करना चाहेंगे, और टेक्नोलॉजी आ पाएगी। कोल गैसिफिकेशन जैसे कदमों से एनवायरनमेंट की भी रक्षा होगी। कोयले से बनने वाली गैस का उपयोग ट्रांसपोर्ट और कुकिंग के लिए हो पाएगा। यूरिया और स्टील मैन्युफैक्चरिंग से जुड़े उद्योगों को प्रमोट करेगा। हमने लक्ष्य रखा है कि साल 2030 तक 2030 तक यानी कि इस दशक में करीब 100 मिलियन टन कोल को गैसिफाई किया जाए। मुझे बताया गया है कि इसके लिए 4 प्रोजेक्ट्स की पहचान हो चुकी है और इन पर करीब करीब 20,000 करोड़ रुपए इन्वेस्ट किए जाएंगे।
Thanks, Anisha ji, for the video. Now, this is what we are talking about Atmanirbhar Bharat
Hello.
developments in our country. So this is where our vision and our focus towards developing clean energy in our country. Year 2030 is going to be seen with gasifying 100 million tons of coal, where we could gasify various important aspects of chemicals, hydrogen, and various other clean energies out of coal. The second initiative which we launched during the pandemic times, which was a mobile app, I would request Anisha to play the mobile app, a very short 2 minutes 30 minutes video, which probably 30 seconds video, sorry, which can probably give a brief to the audience. And I request the audience to go back home and again, join us with your mobile phones. Anisha, can you play that short video, please? Thanks, Anisha, for that short video. With this, I once again thank all the dignitaries who are present with us for the vision of India to gasify and generate clean energy for our country. And I wish and I welcome the gathering. This 2 days of filled with knowledge, and you enjoyed the 2 days one-to-one virtual meetings. The full 2 days, and these are hopeful, very connected to yourself. Thanks, Anisha, once again, and thank you all.
Thank you, Khatri, for welcoming all our dignitaries and the participants to this virtual conference over 2 days. Yes, there will be a lot to take home in form of insights and new knowledge. Khatri said, go back home and download the app. Use this opportunity now. Download the app, see the features, stay connected with all the latest that happens. You'll get a notification should you download our app. It will be a fruitful experience for you. Go ahead and do that. Now we're going to go ahead with our schedule for the day, and we are grateful to our dignitaries for being with us on the stage now. And we want to talk about how coal gasification is set to change the face of how coal is used in our country. And we have a leader in the world that has been using this gasification technology. Air Products is a $50 billion NYSE-listed industrial gases company, which has around 750 plus production facilities in over 50 countries. It is a world leader in coal gasification and is looking to invest in projects in India as well. I would request Dr. Samir J. Serhan, Chief Operating Officer, Air Products, to please address the audience about the technology and the scope that they see in India. I'd request Dr. Serhan to please unmute himself and start.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Samir Serhan, the Chief Operating Officer for Air Products. Air Products is an S&P 500 company. We operate in more than 50 countries. We have around 170,000 customers and 750 production facilities all over the world. Industrial gas facility that produce hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, argon, and many other industrial gases. Our presence in India is significant. What you can see on the left is the Kochi plant, the Kochi refinery, where we've been supplying to PPCL at Kochi hydrogen to remove the sulfur from the fuels. And we're currently building phase 2, which is going to be producing CO to make chemicals, CO, carbon monoxide. The second photo on the left, basically you see our EPC center in Pune. And we also have a second EPC center in Baroda. We also have a joint venture with Enox, a company called Enox AB, to produce industrial gases, and we are the largest industrial gas producer in India. When it comes to air products and gasification, this really started with the acquisition of the GE and the Shell gasification technology. We are definitely now a world leader in gasification, liquid and coal, petcoke to produce syngas and chemicals. We have a number of projects in the world, like we have a Luan joint venture in China, $1.5 billion. We're currently trying to conclude the joint venture with Aramco for $11.5 billion, which is using vacuum residue from the refinery to gasify to produce power. We are doing, finishing in 1 year, the Jotai project in Inner Mongolia in China to produce methanol. And the last announcement we had that the project we started working on early this year is a large $2 billion project in Indonesia to use coal to produce chemicals. In this case, we're going to be producing 1.8 million tons of methanol a year. Air products, from a sustainability, our target, which we have that public, is reduction by 30%. By 1/3 actually, from 114 kilograms CO2 per million BTU of product to reduce that to 76 kilograms of CO2 per million BTU of a product in 2030. How we're going to achieve this? A number of ways, like carbon capture projects. Air product is the largest over-the-fence producer of hydrogen. And when we produce hydrogen out of natural gas, we produce CO2, and we're now developing a number of projects to capture the CO2. We have an application that's been operating out of 2 hydrogen plants in Port Arthur, Texas, where we capture 1 million ton of CO2 a year. We're also working on carbon-free hydrogen, and I hope you've seen the announcement earlier this year about the joint venture we're doing in Saudi Arabia. The project called NEOM, it's on the Red Sea. We're basically investing with our partner around $7 billion to produce carbon-free hydrogen that's going to be shipped all over the world as a green ammonia, then cracked back to hydrogen and used for mobility. Operation excellence, improving our efficiency of our plants, that will definitely help, and also using renewable power, especially for our air separation plants, which consume significant amount of power. Gasification strategy for India, as I showed you before, that mean with the acquisition of the GE and the Shell gasification technologies and having projects all over the world. We have significant amount of experience. We believe it's very in good shape to invest in India, and we have already committed to multi-billion-dollar investments in coal and petcoke gasification projects in India. And we can do that with the dry feed or the slurry feed gasification technology. So, and we're currently working with a number of entities, companies in India to develop some of these projects. So, and really, we're very excited about that, and we believe that we're a very good partner to basically make these things happen and monetize all of that coal that's existing in India. And the technologies we have really fits very nicely with the high ash coal that we have in India for the coal. And that really concludes my presentation. Again, sorry for the technical difficulty, but thank you very much, and I wish you all the best in this conference.
Thank you, Dr. Serhan, for your address. We are very excited to see air products expanding in our country and providing us the solutions that are required for coal gasification. We will request Mr. Binay Dayal, if he is there, to please address the audience. Of course, the Talcher fertilizer plant in Orissa will become the country's first coal gasification-based fertilizer plant once it's completed by 2023-24. This will ensure efficient supply of urea and other fertilizers in eastern India. Now, Talcher Fertilizers is a joint venture promoted by GAIL, Coal India, RCF, and FCIL, and was formed to revive FCIL's Talcher fertilizer unit in Angul district of Orissa. I would request,
but at least I guess I'm glad that people can see the presentation and see me. Yeah. Okay. Very good. Thanks.
Right. I would request Mr. Binay Dayal to please address the audience and talk to us about the plan for Talcher Fertilizers.
Very good morning. At the outset, I would like to congratulate Mission Energy Foundation for arranging such a wonderful mega event where all the policymakers and the technology licensors and contractors and global business leaders are there. Thank you very much. And
I think we lost the connection with Mr. Binay Dayal.
Right. I think we'll reconnect with Mr. Binay Dayal, but we are very privileged to have with us Mr. Naveen Jindal of JSPL. Mr. Jindal, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us today. And we are all looking forward to listening from you on what has been JSPL's experience with coal gasification in our country.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. So I guess I'm really happy to be here. So we are waiting for the other gentleman to restart, right? Or you want me to speak right now?
So I'd request you to go ahead and we'll reconnect Mr. Dayal.
Okay, so as far as JSPL's experience has been there in coal gasification, it has been full of challenges because challenges primarily due to non-availability of coal. And as we started the plant in 2012, and we were looking forward to starting our coal mines, the captive coal block that was allocated to us in Odisha. That got cancelled in 2014, and after that we did not have coal for we used to get coal from different mines, different grades. As a result, we could never run the gasifier properly. So we decided, and it was uneconomical also. So after that, we shut the plant. But I am happy to report now that since last, I would say last 7-8 months, the government of India, the coal ministry have been very, very supportive. And now we are able to get good quality coal in the quantities that we need from the source that we need. So we have restarted the coal gasification plant, and I'm very happy to report that it is performing very well right now. And we are running the gasifiers presently on about 55 to 60% capacity, because that is all the syngas that we need. So that's working well right now. So I would just say that there's a lot of effort now from Government of India, from our Honorable Prime Minister, coal minister, steel minister, that they all want to encourage coal gasification, and India has a very ambitious target of gasifying 100 million tons of coal. So that's a very ambitious target, and rightly so, because when we gasify coal, we are using its chemical energy. We are just not like a power plant. We are just not burning coal and using its heat value or heat energy, but we are using the chemical properties when we make syngas. Syngas is a mixture of carbon monoxide and hydrogen, and then we reacting it with other things. We are reacting it with, say, iron ore in case of making DRI. So by using chemical properties of syngas, we are producing DRI and then steel. And in the process, we are eliminating import of coking coal, because coking coal, like our company, we import coking coal also, and all our blast furnaces, they run on 100% imported coking coal. So whereas our DRI making is 100% based on domestic non-coking coal. So I think something which needs to be encouraged. And basically, so to encourage other people, I think the surest way is to have a successful example. So because we have been the pioneers in coal gasification, and because we have been struggling for last 7-8 years, and without really running the plant properly or without really making money in it, so that is not very encouraging for other people, because the whole world is looking at us. All the investors are looking at JSPL. How does JSPL perform? And the day we start making money on it, obviously there are a lot of people who are going to be interested in coal gasification. So I'm very confident that day is not far. We have started to operate it. We are operating it efficiently, profitably now. And we would also welcome anyone who wants to come and visit us in Angul, Odisha. So we would have invited you now, but just due to the pandemic and the restrictions and due to safety reasons, maybe we need to wait another 2-3 months. And I'm sure by March, once I hope most of us get vaccinated, we'll welcome you to come and visit our plant and to see the coal gasifiers working efficiently, and also be producing steel through that. So there are certain issues that for coal gasification to be viable, to be economically viable, we need to make its input, because it is very high capital investment. So the input is basically coal. So coal needs to be available abundantly and at the right price. And there's too much of taxation on coal. The 400 rupee GST compensation cess that is put on coal, that is something, and it is not GST compliant. It's called GST compensation cess, but it's not GST compliant. And as a result, we are not able to get credit for it. So it makes the coal prohibitively expensive. Then we have the highest royalty, duties, taxes on coal. We are paying 15% ad valorem royalty on coal, then district mineral fund and other cesses. So we need to reduce all these taxes, and all these taxes, whether you call it royalty or whether you call it DMF, they have to be compliant with the GST system. Because ultimately, say in our case, we are producing steel, and steel attracts 18% GST. So all these, whatever the input taxes are there, we should be able to get credit for them in the output tax that we pay. So only if we do these things will we be able to utilize the coal gasification properly, will we be able to perform very well, efficiently, making money in it, and which is going to encourage many entrepreneurs to take up coal gasification. If you see somebody already being successful, making money, that is, I think, going to be the biggest motivation for other people also to do this. But with all the support that we've been getting from Niti Aayog, from Coal Ministry, from Steel Ministry, I'm sure that these gasifiers will do well, and they are only performing better because there's also a lot of learning curve for us, because really for the first time we are now running them in a sustainable way, in a regular manner. So with all the experience that we will gain, I'm sure this would help not only us but everyone who wants to come into this field. So I like to wish all the best for this conference, and I'm sure there are lots of good points that would emerge from this conference, and the learning from this we'll all benefit from. Thank you very much, and all the best.
Thank you, Mr. Jindal, for joining us this morning. Your experience is actually invaluable for all participants because you're doing this firsthand. And we hope that the taxation issues will be something that will get realigned in the times to come. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. And let's hope people will take up on your offer to visit your plant as well sooner than later. And wish you all the very best. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Anisha.
We are very privileged to have with us Shri Vaidya ji, the chairman of IOCL. Like I said, there is a coal to methanol plant being set up in West Bengal, and there could perhaps be a partnership with oil companies for tie-ups of marketing methanol, and IOC is also doing research in coal gasification. I would request Shri Vaidya ji to please address the audience and share with us IOCL's plans going ahead.
Thank you. Secretary Shri Tarun Kapoor, Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, Chairman Jindal Steel and Power Limited, Shri Naveen Jindal ji, Executive VP Air Products, Dr. Samir J. Serhan, Director Technical, Coal India Limited, Shri Binay, Dayal, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. World over, as the energy demand is witnessing a rapid growth, along with the corresponding enhancements in energy production, environmental sustainability has emerged as one of the key priorities. India is the third largest energy consumer in the world and is poised to experience the fastest growth in energy consumption amongst all large economies. Propelled by the energy agenda that is inclusive, market-based, and climate-sensitive, India is also in the midst of an energy transition. I firmly believe that India, with its unique population and demographic dynamics, has to chart its own energy transition blueprint. Our domestic demand profile offers numerous possibilities with a broader basket that has diverse energy sources such as coal, oil, natural gas, coexisting with bioenergy and renewables. Each energy form has its role cut out in driving the development of our nation, which is today the world's third largest consumer of oil. India's roadmap on energy transition has been very aptly consolidated by our Honorable Prime Minister during his address in the India Energy Forum in October 20 through 7 key drivers, one of them which is cleaner use of fossil fuels, particularly petroleum and coal. As per the BP Energy Outlook 2020, India's primary energy consumption is likely to double by 2050. India is going to be the largest contributor to demand growth up to 2050. Presently, coal constitutes about 55% of the country's primary energy consumption. For making the best use of coal with an edge over the liquid and gas hydrocarbons, there is a need to improve the efficiency in processing through efficient washing of coal and using improved techniques for handling coal to energy and chemical products. The coal gasification process, which produces syngas from coal through steam reforming, may be a solution for improving coal conversion efficiency. The Ministry of Coal has recently set a target to gasify 100 million tons of coal by 2030 as part of the vision to ensure energy security. Simultaneously, the government aims to increase the share of natural gas in the country's energy mix to 15% by 2030 from approximately 6.3% today. The same would allow India to improve the environmental sustainability and flexibility of its energy systems. To bridge the gap in natural gas demand and India's domestic production, LNG is being imported, stored, regasified at various LNG import terminals. India at present has nearly 42 million metric tons per annum of regasification capacity, which is expected to reach 70 to 75 million tons by 2030 on account of the growing demand for cleaner fuels, last mile connectivity with demand centers, policy liberalization, and market reforms. Apart from this, domestically available municipal solid waste, biomass, industrial waste, etc., can also be converted into environmentally friendly cleaner fuels and chemicals through gasification. As per the Task Force report of Planning Commission 2014, the estimated annual MSW generation is 62 million tons, out of which more than 80% is disposed of at dump yards.
I guess we lost the connections of Anisha is here.
Yes, we were hearing Mr. Vaidya talk about the promise of coal gasification. We'll try to reconnect with him. In the interim, we have the Tarun Kapoor with us. Now, the syngas, which is produced by gasification of coal, can be used to produce electricity and make chemical products such as fertilizer. Coal can also be directly processed to produce liquid hydrocarbons as well. Can this be a solution to reduce India's oil and gas dependence? Because we do import a large part of our oil and gas consumption. So I would now like to request Shri Tarun Kapoor, Secretary, Petroleum and Natural Gas Ministry, to please address the conference. Mr. Kapoor, I'll hand it over to you, sir.
Good morning to all the participants, and nice to hear about a subject which is so upcoming and offers great potential for India. Now, the whole world is talking about energy transition, and India is also talking about energy transition. India's energy transition story is going to be a little different from the world's energy transition story. The end goal for everyone is 100% renewable energy. We all want to move towards cleaner fuels. We all are conscious about the environment, and we all want that the fuels or energy sources should be easy to handle and easy for the common man, and also affordable. But then that transition is going to happen not straight away. There are several paths which we will take, and then we will come back and then move in another direction. So one movement which has to happen in India is that we have to reduce the usage of coal. And while we reduce the usage of coal, the entire shift may not go to renewable energy immediately. It will have to go to other alternate fuels, and natural gas is one of them. So while we in this ministry are preparing plans for gas-based economy, primarily based on natural gas, we are also looking at other forms of gas which might be available. And coal gasification does offer a very good alternative. And particularly because there is abundance of coal in the country. But now the challenge is the price. Syngas we can make, but then technologies are there, and experiments have been done, and now we have at least 3-4 major projects coming up in the country. Then from syngas, where do we go? We could make methanol. Now, methanol can be used for blending in petrol. That is another experiment we are trying. I am not too sure how far we will go on that, because methanol has its own challenges. But then from syngas, you can also make ethanol. So ethanol blending in any case is going to happen in a very big way in India. But then there are several sources for ethanol, and syngas could be one of them. But then again, we have to look for sources which are cheaper, which are affordable, and then which can sustain. Then from syngas, there could be so many other chemicals, some expensive products, so many other things which can be prepared, not only fuel, but it could also offer some other chemicals which can be used in industry. and there is further scope of doing research on that. Mr. Vaidya was just talking, but IOCL R&D Center is also doing research, and they have developed some biomethods of using syngas to convert into biodiesel and certain other products. So I would say that coal gasification is a great area for the future, but we need a lot of research, particularly to get better products, to get newer products, and to bring the price down. And from our ministry, we are looking at ways and means to get these products into the mainstream, which means that we should be able to get the products into maybe blending with petrol, diesel, or with the natural gas, or such products which can directly come in the form of fuels. So that's the way forward for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kapoor, for joining us today. And it is, of course, going to be a very exciting time ahead with a number of possibilities for the usage of syngas. Blending, of course, when it comes to ethanol, can also be a viable option. And once we get scale and the pricing is more, lucrative, I'm sure the uses of syngas and coal gasification will be multiple. I would now like to go to Shri Binay Dayal ji, Director Technical, Coal India Limited, who was speaking with us, and we lost connection with him. Sir Dayal ji, I would request you to please go ahead with your address and talk to us about the Talcher fertilizer plant.
Yeah. Thank you very much. And Shri Naveen Jindal, Chairman GSPL, Dr. Samir of Air Product, S.M. Vaidya, Chairman IOCL, and DG Mission Energy Foundation. A very good morning, and I was speaking and I lost the connection. So at the outset, I would like to congratulate the Mission Energy Foundation for arranging such a wonderful mega event. As a second largest coal producer, Coal India is quite aware of its limitation and the expectation the country is having from coal industry. Under the Paris Agreement, the India has committed to reduce the carbon footprint by 1/3. To achieve this goal, which is our primary source of energy and energy security at present. We would like to contribute in gas-based economy as Secretary Petroleum has envisaged. And coal gasification could be the right answer for that. To promote cleaner and alternate uses of coal, CIL has taken various initiatives in a phased manner for the development of coal gasification industry in India. We are, as a first initiative, we have joined hands with the two PSUs, Rashtriya Chemical Fertilizer and GAIL of India, in developing the Talcher fertilizer plant based on the high ash coal. And we have gone ahead with the selection of the LSTK contractor who will be supplying the gasifier and the ammonia area stream. And based on that, we are keenly looking for that. Out of that experimentation and on the commercial scale itself, we are keenly waiting that how it behaves, and outcome will be very important for us. The second and flagship project of CIL is coal to methanol project at Donkni coal complex, a prized industrial location near Kolkata. Raniganj coalfield, which is known for Raniganj coalfield, coal will be used in the Donkni coal complex that we have envisaged, and that is a low ash solid fuel, and we have shortlisted 2 dry feed, that is SAIL, Corain, and one wet feed, GE in trained bed technologies. We have engaged Mrs. PDIL as a consultant who has carried out the pre-feasibility study. The 0.67 million tonnage per annum of methanol to be produced at Donkey Coal Complex will cater the M15 blending requirement in the 4 eastern states, that is Bihar, Jharkhand, Odisha and West Bengal. Now we have given approval to take the project forward through inviting bids for setting of the plants on BOO basis, build, own and operate basis. However, I would like to mention that price of the methanol is in the international market is very fluctuating. It is fluctuating from $400 US dollar per tonne to now presently it is a very low 160. So viability and viability is one of the things that has to be established in the case of coal gasification and the end product, chemical end product, methanol. And second thing, telling that for the marketing of the this methanol, because it has to mix with the petroleum and then has to be marketed to user. So that makes a joint venture and kind of thing with the petroleum sector. We have floated the global tender inquiry. It is open our CPP portal and tender portals of PDIL and CIL. It is anticipated that the tendering exercise shall be concluded and successful BOO operators shall be identified by June 2021. Through this forum, I invite all the interested contractors, technology licensor, BOO operators to please get in touch with CIL or PDIL team for more details and participate in the bid process. So it is a first kind of its flagship. It is a project from coal to methanol, and it has been duly supported by the Niti Aayog also. Under Atmanirbhar Bharat, there will be huge boost to chemical sectors in India. To seize the upcoming opportunities, 4 of the CIL subsidiaries also joined the coal gasification. And the next generation of coal gasification plant, Eastern Coalfield, is exploring the project near Raniganj. Southeastern Coalfield is exploring near Bhatgaon. Western Coalfield near Chandrapur, and Central Coalfield Limited in North Kanpura. The pre-feasibility studies for the coal to chemical plants at these 4 sites are being prepared by the PDIL, and except for CCL, the other 3 sites have been chosen on the basis of the availability of the high-grade coal, and wherein the existing coal gasification technology will work. But in case of CCL, it is high-ash coal, and the technology has to be no proven technology exists as on date. Although Air Product claims that they have the technology for the high-ash coal also, and JSPL is also using some of the high-ash coal for coal gasification for these, for their steel production. But production of other end product chemicals like ammonia, ammonium nitrate, and other things, and its viability and marketability, that are the questions that we are facing now as a coal producer. As we know that Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji has envisioned the gasification of 100 MTY coal by 2030. To achieve this feat, we need to overcome the issue of the most extractable coal deposit in India are low-grade coal that I have mentioned. Here, the average ash content of the coal typically is over 35, and sometimes as high as 45%. This ash range, the existing pool of gasification technology have limited reference, and we'll be happy that the technology are available ready-made. Although this is challenging area and opportunity for the technology supplier, researchers, and entrepreneurs, consultant to come up with the gasifier that can demonstrate economically viable means for gasification of high-ash coal. I understand that many institutes and agencies like IT Delhi, BHEL, Simfer, they are working to provide solution to address this issue. Coal gasification can further unlock many more avenues in downstream segment. for production of olefins, polymers, activated pharmaceutical ingredients, graphene, and other carbon-based specialty chemicals. We have initiated dialogues with the futuristic technology suppliers in this market. We are keen to invest in the setting up the commercial plant based on the technology proven at the commercial scale. Lastly, I would like to conclude with the following remarks. Coal gasification is a way forward for the import substitution of crude and crude-based feedstock. Under Atmanirbhar Bharat, it will boost the indigenous capacity building for the production of chemical and petrochemicals. As a strategic move, CIL has taken up 4 projects for gasification of high-grade coal, and based on the learnings of these initiatives, a roadmap for the coal to chemicals industry will be laid. CIL will continue to play an active role as an investor or partner or to facilitate the technology developers and suppliers, OMCs, and other stakeholders in the industry. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Dayal, for your address. We would like to thank all our dignitaries for taking the time out to join us today. We are very grateful to you for sharing with us your insights and your experience, your expectations of coal gasification and the scope that it has in our country. We would like to thank Shri Tarun Kapoor ji, Shri Vaidya ji of IOCL, Shri Naveen Jindal ji, Dr. Samir, Serhan, Shri Binay Dayal ji. Thank you all for joining us today. We were awaiting Mr. V.K. Saraspat to join us, but I'm afraid he got caught up in a last-minute urgent meeting and couldn't join us. But we want to thank all our dignitaries for joining us today and sharing with us their insights. We will now be slipping into a break, but for the benefit of all our participants and all those who are joining us today, I would just like to tell you, if you are facing any connectivity issues or if you are unable to see the video properly, or if any of our speakers are having a problem with the bandwidth, we do have a low HD version. There is an option for you to switch to lower definition, and that will help in saving your bandwidth and connecting and remaining connected. So in case any of you are facing any connectivity issues, I would request you to step down to the low definition mode where you'll be able to hear all our speakers. I think Khatri has something to say as well.
Just one small request, that the parallel session, the next technical sessions are going to run in the parallel basis. So the sessions will go live, and I will request the participants to click on join now button, whichever session they would like to attend. Until unless they join the session, they will not able to see anything or hear anything. So kindly go and select join now button to join the beloved session which you would like to attend.
Most definitely, that's another technical course to keep in mind. We'd also request all our speakers and participants to remain on mute so that the speaker on stage can be heard without any interruptions. And as soon as you begin to start, you can unmute yourself. To all those attending the conference, when we come back, you will also get an opportunity to ask questions. Do raise your hands. We have the facility available for you to directly ask your question to the speaker yourself. So do use that facility that we have. You can raise your hand and ask the speakers your questions yourself. We will, of course, be taking the questions only towards the end of the session, but whenever you have a question, do raise your hand so that we have them ready for you to take ask your questions towards the end of the session. Right now, we're going to slip into a break. You have half an hour to catch up on important issues, on grabbing your cup of coffee, but do come back. We'll start the sessions sharp at 11:30. There'll be 2 parallel sessions, one on Gasification India and one on waste to energy. So do press the join button to the session that you want to attend, and do return at 11:30 a.m. See you there.